So I'm making Spanish rice, and I have used 1 cup of white long grain rice, and I would say about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And so I'm frying up the rice. I'm letting it get a little toasty so it gets that cooked Spanish rice taste. It makes this taste so good. So right now it's just the rice and the oil, and I am stirring it at times so that it doesn't burn in spots. Just keeping it. It's coming. So anyway. So it's been frying for about, I would say about 10 minutes, and I've been stirring the rice. As you can tell, it's getting some color to it now. It looks a little more golden. Let's see if we can get a better. Let's see what Anyway, so now at this point, I have a bit of chopped onion. This is 1 cup of rice, so I have a bit of chopped onion. It's like that much. Compared to my knife, you can see. I would say it's about 1/4 of a cup of chopped onion. Now I'm going to add that in to stir that with the rice and keep browning the rice. So I've added the onion to the rice, and I'm still kind of frying the rice. I'm stirring it a bit because I don't want it to get too brown in certain spots. And so that's what I'm doing here. You can see some spots are getting kind of brown. And that's okay, that's what we want. We want the onion to also get a little more clarified, and it's pretty opaque when you start off white, and then once it gets a little clearer in color and the rice gets a little more tan in color, then you start adding your other ingredients. I don't know if I mentioned, but also while we're doing the rice, I have this on nothing higher than a medium heat, and so it's pretty low. It's on, I guess between low and medium low here. So, because you don't want it to brown too fast and get ahead of you. You want to kind of stay on top of it. Otherwise, burnt rice does not taste good. Final product. At the same time, I'm also have a kettle going with some water, because we will need to add boiling water to this at some point in the near future here. So I have the kettle going so that we can have that water ready when we need it. So I'm just going to keep stirring and browning the rice. We don't want it to get burned, so be vigilant. Okay, so this is like a good color to have on your rice. I don't know if you can tell the color exactly, but it's a bit tan, has some brown grains in there. And again, you don't want your fire too hot. Low, medium, low. Just so you can keep control of everything. So you compare this to like regular white rice. See if I can get that in focus. There you go. See how white that is? And then you look at this, it's a bit more tan. So it's kind of a little kaleidoscope of yellow brownness. Anyway, so some people like it a little more toasted, but I think because I'm going to saute and add more ingredients to it, this is a good mix the way it is right now. So the next ingredients that I'm going to add is about 1/2 a can of tomato sauce, and then that has roasted garlic already in it. Most people will add, or I have added, chopped tomatoes with fresh garlic as well to this, and just kind of saute it until, like, you know, it kind of gets in there and, you know, flavored up really well. But so that's what I'm going to add next. Okay, so I'm adding 1/2 a can of let's see if I get that in there right properly. Tomato sauce with garlic. I know it's just not focusing right. You can tell what I have. So about 1/2 a can of that. And then just saute it in there. So like I said, you don't have to add this if you want it to have like the veggies and everything in there. You can add a chopped tomato and about a garlic clove in there, both chopped up. And then just kind of saute it and let the flavor kind of pick up that color. I mean, let the rice pick up that color and flavor, and it'll be good. But I'm doing this because I don't have time to chop up. I have little kids, as you might be able to tell in the background. So whenever I can do time-saving things, I will. So this is it. Just letting it kind of flavor up. You can see the bits of onion, and you can hear it kind of sizzling a bit. I will add, I will let this, you know, kind of do its thing, or I don't know, flavor up, I guess is the only way I can put it, for about maybe 5 minutes. And then I'll add the hot water, and I'll also add about a tablespoon of Knorr tomato bouillon, this stuff. This, a tablespoon of this, because it makes it taste so good. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes with the tomato sauce, and now I'm going to add, this is the cup of rice, so I'm going to add 2 cups of my water with my tomato bouillon in it, already in it, because I want it to dissolve, because I don't want clumps of bouillon in my rice. I want it to all be just flavored evenly. So I'm going to put it in. You might see me wearing a pot holder, because I find whenever I put boiling water into a hot pot, it will splatter and steam up. So anyways, I don't want to burn my hand. So here it is. That didn't splatter too bad. All right, so I put it in there. As you can see, it's starting to boil already. Give it a bit of a stir, not too much though, because if you stir it too much, your rice will become very mushy. So you want to kind of just barely stir it just to get the grains off the spoon, off the sides of the pan, which we're good. So kind of just distribute that evenly. So now we kind of turn up the heat a bit. I was at medium high, medium low. Let's see here, do this again. Medium low to low. Anyways, you can see the flame. So I'm gonna turn it up a bit more. There we go. So now it's like officially at medium low. Oh, hold on, let's try this a little bit higher. At medium. Because I want it to boil. And once I see it boiling, then I'll turn it to all the way low and cover it. So, as you can see, it's getting there. Good. Okay, so you can see our rice is coming to a boil. I guess maybe a strong simmer is more like it, but it's on the verge of boiling. Maybe give it about a minute more. And then what we will do is I'm going to go ahead and just cover this. Just cover that. And I'm going to turn my heat down to very low. So it's like super low. And I'm going to leave it that way for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to come and check on it. So I have tasted my rice, at least the little broth, because I always want to make sure, like, saltiness and whatever, make sure that it has enough flavoring or whatever you might need. Well, I thought that it was a bit salty, and that kind of makes sense because the tomato sauce obviously contains salt, whereas a regular tomato wouldn't. So in order to counterbalance the saltiness, I'm going to add 2 stalks of celery, just like this, because usually people don't want to eat celery in their rice. But I'm just going to leave them, I've chopped them up in like thirds, and I'm going to just chunk them in, because my mom always told me that if you add celery to like salty rice or salty anything, sopas or whatever you say in Spanish, that it will take some of the salt off, because the celery will absorb it. So here we go. 2 stalks of celery chopped up in thirds, and I'm going to put them right in the pot so that hopefully we'll soak up some of that salt, because it is a bit salty. It's not like crazy, but I'm sure my husband would think it was crazy. So In they go. So in they went. Also another half cup of water, because the celery will soak up some of that water and you don't want your rice to be dry. So half cup of water and 2 stalks of celery, and we'll keep going. So I just opened the container to check on our rice, and as you can tell, it still looks kind of like grainy. It doesn't look like fluffy yet. This is not the fluffy stage. People tend to get this confused. This is not fluffy Spanish rice. I don't know how else to put it. This is, to me, this is undercooked. So you can kind of see maybe at the edges how it's a little bit fluffier. Anyway, I should not uncover this any further. But, so this has to keep cooking, because you want that rice to be spongy and soft. So we'll continue. It has been 20 minutes since we turned this down to low and covered it. So we will give it another, I would say another 10, and then we'll see where we are then. Now if you feel like there's not a lot of water in there, you saw what I had, then yeah, feel free to add like 1/4 cup of water. You don't need that much, because at this point it's kind of, you just want to let it steam, because you don't want soupy water, soupy rice. Although that might be what some people like, but I prefer more of a dry rice, not something that leaves like a soupy kind of trail behind. So 10 more minutes. So since the last update, it has been 5 minutes, and when I check the rice, it looks quite fluffy, so I've turned it off. Turned off the heat at least, and I'm just gonna leave it covered, and I'm not serving dinner for a while. So with the heat and it being covered, it will keep fluffing up. Now if I was serving rice immediately, say my dinner was ready right now, I'd probably leave the heat on for 3 more minutes and then turn it off, just to keep it cooking a little faster. But since it's going to be a while for me, I'm turning it off now and then serving later, because that'll give it time to fluff up and get just how I want it for dinner. But that is just a simple Spanish rice in a nutshell. I have small children, so when I can cut corners and keep it nutritious, I will. And so that's it. If you like this video, let me know. Thanks.